You know how some mornings start with birds chirping or your coffee maker humming? Well, mine started with the growl of a 2024 Ford Explorer ripping across my front lawn like it was a freeway off-ramp. This wasn't some lost delivery guy or a teenager showing off. It was Laura Hensley, our HOA president, the kind of woman who treats neighborhood rules like her personal Ten Commandments, except when they apply to her. Every morning, she'd carve fresh tire tracks into the grass I'd spent years turning into my own little slice of perfection. And I'm telling you, it wasn't just about the lawn, it was about the sheer nerve of it, like she was daring me to do something. I'm Jake, by the way, just a guy in a quiet little corner of Willow Creek, North Carolina, where the houses all look like they came out of a magazine, and the HOA runs tighter than a military base. My lawn, that's my thing. I'm not out here throwing big parties or buying fancy cars to show off. I mow my grass in crisp stripes, edge it like a barber's fade, and yeah, I'm proud of it. It's my way of keeping things in order when the world feels like it's spinning out of control. So when I first saw those tire marks, faint lines pressed into the wet grass after spring rain, I figured it was a one-time thing. Maybe a UPS truck got too close to the curb. But then it kept happening day after day, same spot, same time, between 6:45 and 7 a.m. like clockwork. The grass wasn't just bent anymore, it was torn. Mud sprayed onto the sidewalk like some off-road rally had gone down overnight. I'd stand on my porch, coffee going cold in my hand, staring at those ruts, feeling this slow burn in my chest. Not just anger, but something personal, like someone was spitting on my doorstep and laughing about it. I tried to catch the culprit at first, waking up early, staking out my living room window like some wannabe private eye. But I've got a job software engineer, not Batman, so I couldn't just camp out every morning. That's when I got smart and ordered one of those cheap security cameras off Amazon, $40 motion detecting, the kind they advertise at 2 a.m. I stuck it by the mailbox, angled it to catch the corner of my yard where the tracks always showed up. That night, I sat on my porch, the crickets buzzing, the camera's little red light blinking like it was in on the plan. The next morning, I'm at my kitchen table, scrolling through the footage, heart pounding like I'm about to uncover some grand conspiracy. And there was Laura Hensley, queen of the Willow Creek HOA, rolling through my lawn in her shiny Ford Explorer, sunglasses perched on her nose, one hand on the wheel, smirking like she owned the place. I watched that clip over and over, my jaw on the floor. This wasn't some random jerk, this was the woman who'd find me $75 last summer because my trash can sat out for an extra hour, the same one who'd send me a letter about my mailbox not being aesthetically cohesive. And here she was, treating my yard like her personal shortcut. I try to play nice at first, be the bigger person. I saw my chance at the HOA's monthly cleanup day, where Laura struts around with her clipboard like she's running for mayor. I walked up, rake in hand, forcing a smile. "Laura, got a sec?" I said, keeping my voice steady. She turned, all pearls and fake charm, her sunglasses pushed up like a crown. "Jake, always happy to chat with my neighbors," she said, but her tone was pure syrup, the kind that hides a sting. I kept it cool. "It's about my lawn. Someone's been driving over it, leaving ruts." "I got video, Laura. It's you." For a split second, I saw a flicker in her eyes, like she'd been caught. But then she laughed, this airy little chuckle that made me want to snap my rake in half. "Oh, Jake, it's just grass. It grows back. Just grass." I could have lost it right there, but I pressed on. "I'm not mistaken. It's your Explorer every morning. It needs to stop." That's when her smile thinned, and she leaned in, voice low, "No more sugar. Jake, I'm the HOA president. I keep this place running. You keep pushing this, you're only making things harder for yourself." It wasn't just a brush off, it was a threat, plain as day, and she walked off like she'd already won. After that, she didn't just keep driving over my lawn, she made show of it. One morning, I caught her from my window, slowing down as her tires dug in, glancing at my house and giving this smug little wave, like we were in on some joke, and I was the punchline. Then the letters started showing up, HOA violation notices, signed by Laura herself. First one said I was failing to maintain lawn quality. The irony was thicker than the mud she'd sprayed. Another claimed my rose bushes were encroaching on community space. A third said my trash can was out too long 20 minutes after pickup. Each one came with a fine, $50, then $100, piling up like she was daring me to crack. My neighbors noticed too, but nobody said much. They'd whisper, "Tough break, Jake," or give me these pitying looks before glancing at Laura's house, like she was untouchable. And for a while, I almost believed it. She had the board, the rules, the whole neighborhood eating out of her hand. All I had was a folder of videos and a yard that looked like a war zone. I tried going the official route, signing up to speak at an HOA meeting. I stood up, heart steady, and played the footage on the projector Laura's Explorer, mud flying, her smug grin clear as day. "This is our HOA president," I said, wrecking my property every morning. The room went quiet, a couple of gasps, one guy even laughed. But Laura? She stood up, smoothed her cardigan, and went full Oscar performance. "This is absurd," she snapped. "Those videos could be faked. Jake's been combative with the HOA for years, and now he's targeting me with lies." She turned to the crowd, eyes wide, playing the victim. "I've given years to this community, and this is the thanks I get?" It worked. People shook their heads, avoided my eyes. By the time I sat down, my evidence felt like a bad joke. As the meeting ended, she leaned in, voice like ice. "Nice try, Jake, but you'll never win." That night, staring at those violation letters spread across my coffee table, I realized this wasn't about grass anymore, it was about power. Laura wasn't just disrespecting my yard. She was flexing, showing me I was nothing in her little kingdom. But she'd made a mistake. She thought I'd fold, that her title and her threats would keep me quiet. She didn't know I'm the kind of guy who doesn't yell at plan. I started digging, not into my lawn, but into the rules. I called the city code office, spent hours reading HOA bylaws, scoured forums where people vented about their own HOA tyrants. Turns out, you can't booby-trap your yard or set up anything dangerous, but you can make your property less inviting. I sketched out a plan, nothing illegal, just a little landscape theater. Picture this: a row of heavy, tasteful planters along the edge of my lawn, filled with bright perennials and low shrubs, backed by a neat gravel path that screamed "walk here, not drive." It'd look like a design choice, not a trap, but it'd make Laura's shortcut a nightmare without breaking a single rule. I called a landscaper, this guy named Tom, who talked about living borders like he was pitching a TED Talk. I told him I wanted something classy, low maintenance, and just awkward enough to stop an SUV. He got it, gave me an estimate, and we set it for a Wednesday morning when Laura was busy at an HOA meeting. I ordered terracotta look planters, blue salvia, boxwood shrub stuff that looked good, but said keep out. I saved every receipt, printed out city code emails confirming it was all legal, and drafted a letter to the HOA framing it as a beautification project. I wasn't just covering my bases, I was building a fortress of paperwork. I also looped in two neighbors, Ellen, a retired librarian who despised Laura's power trips, and Carlos, a dad who loved a good neighborhood drama. "Be ready with your phones," I told them. "This is going to be a show." Wednesday came, and the landscapers moved like a SWAT team. By 8 a.m., the planters were in place, a perfect arc along Laura's favorite path, shrubs planted, gravel tamped down. It looked like it belonged, like I'd hired a designer, not a revenge consultant. I stood on my porch, thermos in hand, watching the cameras I'd repositioned for the perfect angle. At 5 p.m., the app pinged motion detected. Laura's Explorer rolled up, windows down, her scarf fluttering like she was in a car commercial. Then she saw the planters. Her face went from smug to confused to downright offended, like I'd rearranged her universe. She didn't stop right away, oh no. She tried to muscle through, inching forward, then swinging wide. Her bumper grazed a planter, spilling a little soil, and I swear I heard her curse from across the street. Ellen was on her porch, phone up, giggling. Carlos was across the way, filming like he was Spielberg. Half the neighborhood came out, phones pointed like they were at a concert. Laura backed up, tried again, gravel crunching under her tires. Her Explorer was too big, the planters too perfectly placed. She had to park half on the curb, get out, and walk up to my porch, heels clicking like she was storming a castle. "What is this, Jake?" she snapped, waving at the planters like they'd insulted her personally. I leaned against the railing, calm as ever. "Just sprucing up the place, Laura. Community beautification. Looks nice, right?" I slid Tom's business card across the railing, my little ace. She stared at it, then at me, and for the first time, there was no smug wave, no comeback. The neighbors were still filming, laughing now, and Laura knew it. She stormed back to her SUV, backed out like she was fleeing a crime scene, and peeled off. The fallout was glorious. By evening, Carlos's video was on the neighborhood Facebook group, captioned, "HOA Queen vs. Planters, Round 1. Comments poured in, some shocked, some cheering, most just laughing. Laura tried to fight back, sending a neighborhood-wide email accusing me of obstructing community flow. But people hit reply all with clips of her Explorer, memes with captions like "Laura versus Lawn, The Reckoning." At the next HOA meeting, she tried her usual bluster, demanding my planters be removed, but Ellen stood up, voice like steel. "Those planters are gorgeous, Laura, and they're legal. Maybe you should apologize for using Jake's yard as your personal road." The room laughed out loud laughter, and Laura's face went red. The board backpedaled, tabling her motion, and for the first time, she looked small. She didn't stop there, though. A week later, I got a cease and desist letter from her lawyer, claiming harassment and defamation. Defamation. The videos were hers, unedited, her Explorer in all its glory. She even dragged me to small claims court, strutting in like she was on a red carpet. I brought my folder clips, receipts, city code emails, and laid it out like I was presenting a case on CSI. When I played the video of her clipping the planter, then showed her violation letters blaming me for the damage, the judge actually laughed. Case dismissed, Laura ordered to pay my fees. She walked out, heels clicking softer now, her lawyer looking like he wanted to be anywhere else. After that, Laura's reign was over. She resigned from the HOA, claiming family reasons, but we all knew the truth. Her Explorer stayed parked in her driveway, and she started avoiding my street like it was cursed. My lawn healed, the planters bloomed, and neighbors started nodding at me like I'd done something bigger than plant shrubs. One day, a new couple stopped by while I was mowing. "You're Jake, right? The guy who took down Laura?" the wife asked, grinning. I just smiled and nodded. "Heard about it," her husband said. "Legend." Looking back, I could have screamed at Laura, made a scene, but that's what she wanted, chaos she could spin. Instead, I played it smart, let her arrogance trip her up. Those planters? They're not just decoration, they're a reminder that you don't need to yell to win. You just need patience, a plan, and a little creativity to let a bully bury themselves. But here's the thing, was I too harsh? Could I have just talked it out? Or was Laura the kind of person who only learns when her ego's on the line? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, especially if you've got your own HOA horror story. And if you liked watching Laura's reign in a pile of gravel and memes, hit that subscribe button, trust me. There's more where this came from.